Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Kalachandji Radha, Kalachandji Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha, Kalachandji Radha, Kalachandji Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. I think everyone's a little under the weather this week, including myself. And I got the pleasant surprise at 6 a.m. this morning that I'm giving class. I'm like, oh. So we'll do what we can. I was able to kind of just read the translation, but I guess we'll figure out this verse together. So try. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayamudirayat Nashta prayeshu vajreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. You can do the translations together. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendent songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Do a Mangala Charana. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vichakanvitangscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Alright. Sorry. So, I'm not exactly sure which verse. I'm going to have to do a little bit of searching to find it. I think we're still in chapter 25, and the verse is text 21. So we can read these 21 to 24. Jose, can you start?
The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime.
So maybe we can try to get some context on what's happening. So, if we look at the beginning of the chapter, Kapila is born, and Maitreya is asking to describe the pastimes and activities of Kapila Dev. So when Kardama Muni left, Kapila stayed behind. And Devahuti, we heard in Srinath Krishna Prabhu's class that Devahuti is very sick of the disturbance caused by the material senses. And so she is basically asking for instruction from Kapila. So her sickness is different from the kind of sickness that everyone in Kalachandji Dham got. So Kapila Dev is enlightening her now. And Kapila Dev is, he's talking about a few different things. Let's see. Yeah, he's describing self-realization. I had been sick the past few days, so I didn't hear the class before this, so hopefully I don't repeat anything or bore anyone to death. So we can start. Narottam, can you read text 22?
Such a sadhu engages in staunch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections, such as family relationships and friendly acquaintances within the world.
Text 23.
Engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries, because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities.
O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment.
Okay, So, yeah, these 4 verses describing who is a sadhu, what is a sadhu, the nature of sadhu. So, go to text 21. This is a very famous little Sanskrit phrase, Tikshava Karunika. You'll hear it a few times in Prabhupada's books and in different people's classes, so this is a nice verse. I think actually this is a pretty famous verse, so. Titikshava Karunika
Titikshava Karunika
Surhita Sarvadehinam
Suhrida Sarvadehinam
Ajata Shatrasvashanta
Ajata Shatrava Shanta
Sadhava Sadhubhushana
Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana
Titikshava Karunika
Titikshava Karunika
Suhrida Sarvadehinam
Suhrida Sarvadehinam
Ajata Ajata Satravashanta
Ajata Shatrava Shanta
Sadhava Sadhubhushana.
Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana
Please chant.
Titikshava Karunika
Tikshava Karunika
Surida Sarvadehina
Surida Sarvadehinam
Ajata Shatrava Shanta
Ajata Shanta
Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana
Sadhava Sadhubhushana Titikshava Karunika
Surida Sarvadehina
Ajata Shanta Sadhava Sadhubhushana
Titikshava
Karunika
Surida Sarvadehinam
Ajata Satravashanta
Sadhava
Sadhubhushana. Alright, synonyms. A lot of these are pretty common words that we can kind of, like Karuna, Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu, Karuna is merciful, so it's nice we can kind of get a grasp of these words. We can say it together. Titikshava, tolerant. Karunika, merciful. Suhrida, friendly. Sarvadehinam, to all living entities. Ajata Satrava, inimical to none. Shanta, peaceful. Sadhava, inimical to none. Oh. Adorned with sublime characteristics. Okay, Jai. Translation. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
A sadhu, as described above, is a devotee of the Lord. His concern, therefore, is to enlighten people in devotional service to the Lord. That is his mercy. He knows that without devotional service to the Lord, human life is spoiled. A devotee travels all over the country, from door to door, preaching "Be Krishna conscious." Be a devotee of the Lord Krishna. Don't spoil your life in simply fulfilling your animal propensities. Human life is meant for self-realization or Krishna consciousness. These are the preachings of a sadhu. He is not satisfied with his own liberation. He always thinks about others. He is the most compassionate personality towards all the fallen souls. Therefore, one of his qualifications is karunika, great mercy to the fallen souls. While engaged in preaching work, he has to meet with so many opposing elements And therefore the sadhu or devotee of the Lord has to be very tolerant. Someone may ill-treat him because the conditioned souls are not prepared to receive the transcendental knowledge of devotional service. They do not like it. That is their disease. The sadhu has the thankless task of impressing upon them the importance of devotional service. Sometimes devotees are personally attacked with violence. Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Haridas Thakura was canned in 22 marketplaces. Caned. And Lord Chaitanya's principal assistant, Nityananda, was violently attacked by Jagai and Madai. But still they were tolerant because their mission was to deliver the fallen souls. One of the qualifications of a sadhu is that he is very tolerant and is merciful to all fallen souls. He is merciful because he is the well-wisher of all living entities. He is not only a well-wisher of human society, but a well-wisher of animal society as well. It is said here in Sarva Dehinam, which indicates all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Not only does human being have a material body, but other entities such as cats and dogs also have material bodies. The devotee of the Lord is merciful to everyone, the cats, dogs, trees, etc. He treats all living entities in such a way that they can ultimately get salvation from this material entanglement. Shivananda Shena, one of the principles of Lord Chaitanya, gave liberation to a dog by treating the dog transcendentally. There are many instances where a dog got salvation by association with a sadhu, because a sadhu engages in the highest philanthropic activities for the benediction of all living entities. Yet, although a sadhu is not inimical towards anyone, the world is so ungrateful that even a sadhu has many enemies.
What is the difference between an enemy and a friend? It is a difference in behavior. A sadhu behaves with all conditioned souls for their ultimate relief from material entanglement. Therefore, no one can be more friendly than a sadhu in relieving a conditioned soul. A sadhu is calm, and he quietly and peacefully follows the principles of Scripture. A sadhu means one who follows the principles of Scripture and at the same time is a devotee of the Lord. One who actually follows the principles of Scriptures must be the devotee of God because all the sastras instruct us to obey the orders of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, sadhu means a follower of the scriptural injunctions and a devotee of the Lord. All these characteristics are prominent in a devotee. A devotee develops all the good qualities of the demigods, whereas a non-devotee, even though academically qualified, has no actual good qualifications or good characteristics according to the standards of transcendental realization.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantraj Srimad. No, just kidding. Okay, yeah, this is one of the best verses that are in the Bhagavatam. It's such a nice verse. It's talking about the qualities of a sadhu, and we understand that when Srila Prabhupada presents these qualities of a sadhu, he's not, there's a few reasons. I remember Tamal Krishnaraj was saying in one of his memories that Srila Prabhupada, he put the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava on the wall in the temple. And he made the point that this, by these 26 qualities we could identify Srila Prabhupada as a pure devotee. But that wasn't really Prabhupada's intention. Prabhupada's actual intention was that I'm expecting all of you to develop these 26 qualities. And similarly, the Bhagavatam, it is presenting us these things so that we can understand who in our lives are sadhus, who is exemplifying these qualities. But primarily, so that we can become sadhus ourselves, so that we know what it is to aspire for. Maybe you guys, Jose, what was the example of tolerance? What kind of tolerance did sadhus have to go through?
They have to tolerate violence or like material attacks.
Yeah, it's interesting in that Prabhupada makes this point that even the sadhus have enemies. In this material world, the people are so vicious, they're so envious of God, that even the most pure saintly man has enemies. We can see that so many wonderful devotees in ISKCON, it's like there's always going to be criticism from someone. And it can be really sad to see and really painful, but it's something that the sadhu tolerates. What were some examples of devotees who were tolerant? Either in the purport or just that you can think of, devotees that had to tolerate.
Prahlad.
Sorry?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. What did he tolerate?
Hiranyakashipu.
Hiranyakashipu. Do you know the specific things that he had to tolerate?
I think he even tried like boiling him.
They tried to boil him in oil.
In oil.
Boiling oil. That's horrible.
Fry
That's
him.
really, really bad. It's actually described that being boiled in oil is one of the punishments in the hellish planets. What else? They tried to trample him with elephants. They tried to throw him off a cliff. Anything else? You guys remember? The serpents. They tried to poison his food. They tried to poke him with sharp weapons and pierce him. Huh? Oh, okay. They tried to tear him apart at one point. They tried to like tie him up and rip him in half. So really crazy stuff that Prahlad Maharaj had to tolerate. Also, we saw the example of Haridas Thakur and Jesus Christ in the purport. Everyone knows what Jesus had to tolerate. And it's interesting to see that all these religions, they share very fundamental values. For us, Lord Chaitanya said the verse, Trinadapi Sunichana, is the essence. It's like one of the most important things that we can hear in this Krishna consciousness is that we should be tolerant. We should be humble. And then similarly in Christianity, what do they appreciate the most about Jesus is that he took on this austerity for all of them. He tolerated, and he was crucified, like Prabhupada said in the purport. So it's nice to see how these saintly qualities are appreciated by all God-conscious sects. What was the example of merciful, or if you guys can think of any? And what was the word for tolerant? Do you guys remember it? Titikshava. And now we're going on to merciful. What was merciful? Karunika. So does anyone have any examples of merciful in the purport or Vishishta?
Yeah, that story where Vishwamitra, before becoming a sage, he was a king, and then he destroyed Vashishta's hermitage and killed a lot of his students because he wanted the Surabhi cow from Vashishta. And then later on, Vishwamitra realized his mistake and was regretful, and then Vashishta just forgave him. He was merciful.
Jai. Prabhupada gave a kind of interesting example of what merciful was. Not really exactly what you'd expect, but he gave the example of being merciful to the animals. Do you guys remember? He talked about Shivananda Sen and specifically liberating dogs, which is interesting. Merciful to So it's saying merciful and friendly to all living entities. So we can kind of think, how can we be merciful and friendly to all living entities? I guess we can just think about that for a second. It's like, yeah. Because we're expected to gain these qualities, so we can meditate on how we can live a merciful life and be friendly to all living entities. I heard this interesting point once from Mother Urmila that, the devotees, they're like, oh, we don't eat meat. And, we follow the 4 regular principles. But that devotee, he was very critical of the devotees, and he was very harsh in his dealings with devotees. And she had said that, you've abstained from eating meat, but you're eating the meat of the devotees, because you're talking in a violent way, in a non-merciful way. So it kind of goes to show that the principles, the positives, also we need to imbibe them in all aspects of our life, not just what we eat. All right. I guess we can look at the next point. He has no enemies. Let's see what word that was for no enemies. Ajata shatrava, inimical to none. When I hear no enemies, I think of one specific personality from the Bhagavatam, Narottam, who is known for having no enemies. He who has no enemies. Huh? It specifically talks about Pariksha Maharaj, in that, he made no one his enemy. Even though people might be inimical towards him, he was never inimical towards them. And he made no one their enemy, his enemy, yeah. Peaceful. Peaceful is what do you guys think about peaceful? Peaceful, it seems pretty simple, it's just, peaceful, but maybe you guys have more deep thoughts on what it means to be peaceful.
I think it really means that he's not agitated by anything. He's peaceful in what he has, in who he is. He's not hankering for anything. Also, because he has no enemies, he is peaceful. He's not envious. And all those qualities just allow him to be in that constant state of peace, especially because of his constant devotion to the Lord.
So the word for peaceful was shanta. Like shanti. It's like being very peaceful. All right, and then abides by the scriptures. What do you guys think about that? Why do they have to abide by the scriptures? I mean, can't you just say, oh, he's tolerant and merciful and friendly, he's peaceful, isn't that good enough? To, just have all those qualities? What is it about abiding by the scriptures?
Even a materialist can have those qualities, who is not a devotee. But ultimately, these qualities have value only in relation with the Lord. So that's why abiding by the scriptures means obeying the instructions of God.
Okay, so basically it's saying that he's a devotee. Because if you obey the scriptures, Krishna says, Yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat jahoshi, dadasi. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, do that as an offering to me. Man manabhava man bhakto, engage your mind in thinking of me, become my devotee. So if you're abiding by the scriptures, it also means you're a devotee. So the symptoms of a sadhu is that they follow the scriptures and they are a devotee. And because they are a devotee, all their characteristics are sublime. As we read in the bottom of the purport. Does anyone know that verse in the Bhagavatam? Yes, yasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana. So the devotee possesses all the qualities of the demigods. And why do they possess all the qualities of the demigods? Because they're given to them by Krishna. They don't have to put any extraneous effort into them. So you can also understand that these qualities, it'll take two things in that they naturally come by practice of bhakti. But also we can endeavor for them individually. I remember I had asked one of my senior devotees once, like, how can I focus on getting like this quality and stuff? And they kind of made the point that, just keep doing bhakti and it'll come. You don't have to do some other process of like building your tolerance by like standing on one leg or something like that. It'll come naturally with practice of bhakti. And we can also understand that if these are not coming, then you're probably not doing bhakti right. If you're not very tolerant to other people, or you're not friendly or merciful and things like that, you can see that, my heart is still hard. I'm not softening up to the devotees. I remember one of my teachers, they were talking about how sometimes devotees are like, the 70s were the good old days, and after that, like everything, went down, and bhakti is not the same anymore. Krishna consciousness is not the same anymore. And you can kind of make that argument like all the way back. You can say, ever since Lord Chaitanya left, bhakti hasn't been the same. Or ever since Krishna left, bhakti hasn't. But the thing is, bhakti is supposed to be anandam buddhi vardhanam. So it's ever increasing. So it's not supposed to be going down. It's actually supposed to be getting better and better every day. And you can understand that if it's not getting better and better every day, then probably something's not right. Probably there's an adjustment that needs to be made. Not to say that bhakti is linear, but overall there should be an increase in quality. There should be an increase in deepness. I'm not sure if this is allowed, but there's only a few of you here, so if you guys snitch on me, then whatever. But I thought we could play a nice song about Prabhupada. It's by Mangalananda Prabhu. And it's basically, the theme of the song is just the qualities of one who is a lover of the Lord. Probably you guys have all heard this song before. It's a very sweet song. And I thought it was just Prabhupada's disappearance day yesterday. So let's see if this works. I think the TV will be louder.
He's a kind, gentle soul. His heart is never cold. So peaceful and poetic, with a message true and bold. He's never seeking praise, so silent and so great. And his transcendental love is the magic in his ways. And when I see his love, I know I've got a long, long way to go. When will I taste the love that he is feeling inside? He's always meek and mild, with a warm and friendly smile. So simple in his living, singing all the while. He sings out Krishna's name, his glory and his fame, to serve his Lord and Master, in pleasure or in pain. And when I see his love, I know I've got a long, long way to go. When will I taste the love that he is feeling inside? find no lust and greed in a heart that's pure and free. He's a lover of the Lord, and his life is ecstasy. He only dies to live, and living tries to give the happiness that's found in the sound of Krishna's name. And when I see his love, I know I've got a long, long way to go. When will I taste the love that he is feeling inside?
Alright, maybe if you guys want to, I can start, because I really like one of the lines. Oh, okay. I really like one of the lines in here, but if we all want to share like a favorite part of that song. I like the part where it says, he only dies to live, and in living tries to give. With transcendental sound, which is the chanting of Krishna's name. So, what do you guys think that means? He only dies to live. It's actually from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's poem. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he reasons ill. Do you know it, Narottam?
He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die.
When living still in sound.
When
The Pujari is. Please louder. And dying he lives, and in living he tries to spread the holy name
a
around.
Vaishnava dies to live.
Yes. Yeah. So that's really nice.
He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die, while thou art living in sound.
Yes. Yes. Can you say it in the mic?
Yeah. He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die, while thou art living in sound, for he dies to live and lives to spread the holy name, something like that.
Around. Yeah. It rhymes. Yeah, so what does it mean that he dies to live? We just had Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, and I thought this is a very relevant poem. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Dies to live. So I remember hearing it's actually that when the devotees leave their body, they're actually living more than they were when they were in the body, because they're now in their spiritual body, and they're now, they died to live. And then while they are living, though, they tried to spread the holy name around. So I thought it was very sweet. Any other lines of the song that you guys liked? Jose?
It said somewhere that inside of his heart one will not find lust or greed.
Yeah. You'll find no lust and greed in a heart that's pure and free. Nandavraj?
It said it towards the beginning, I think.
Can you
Meek and mild, and then it talks about his smile.
He's always meek and mild, with a warm and friendly smile.
There we go. And then it's so nice because the video at that time, it shows Srila Prabhupada's smile. It's so amazing. Srila Prabhupada, his smile.
Manjari?
The line that struck me was, when will I feel that love that he feels inside?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, let me speculate here for a minute. I think I think you can refer to both the love that he feels for Krishna and also the love that he felt for all of us. So many people I've read and have told me that when they met Srila Prabhupada, they got this overwhelming feeling of compassion coming from him. That when he was looking at you, he could see how much you were suffering in this material world, and he was here to help you.
Yeah, that's kind of like the most impactful part of the song, I think. Yeah, it's really sweet. When will we feel the same love that these sadhus are feeling? And just how Srila Prabhupada is the ultimate Titikshava Karunika, and he's the Shanta, and he's the Ajata Satrava, Sarvadehinam, Surada Sarvadehinam. All right, so it's 8:22. If anyone has any other reflections or thoughts on sadhus in our life and how we can become sadhus and the qualities of the sadhu, Srila Prabhupada being a sadhu. Any reflections? Thank you all for being here and listening for this unprepared class. Nandaraj.
Not just the song, but the song that mentioned that we see how long we have to go by seeing these qualities. And at first, or when we're in ignorance, we might be a little puffed up, right? We think, I've got good qualities, or I'm good at this, or something. And then when you start to hang around saintly people, you start to see the immense deepness of their qualities. And in that way, automatically we become humbled. Our humility has to, if you're honest at all, that humility comes up. And so, reading Srila Prabhupada's purports, hearing about him, hearing his memories, festivals, you just get this this deeper level of humility that, gosh, look how far I have to go. And but you can also look and see where you come from too, and that by practicing Jai Shishirada Kalashanji, by practicing hearing from Srila Prabhupada, that we are gaining these qualities slowly but surely. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, I love that point. It's kind of like it's a double thing. It's like, it's not just I have a long way to go. It's look at how far I've come and look at how far I have to go still too. But you still appreciate how far you've come and how much the process has worked on you, how much association of the devotees has cleansed your heart. Any other thoughts? I know a lot of you have very deep connections with a lot of sadhus in your life. And maybe if you guys want to just share some experiences with sadhus that you've had.
Well, I thought of my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami. I lived in New York City for 11 years, and my primary temple was the Bhakti Center, which is on the Lower East Side. It's actually directly around the corner from 26 2nd Avenue. But there was this man who would set up this card table, for some reason, right there outside of Bhakti Center, and he would sell leather belts. And he was known as James the Belt Guy. And he was, I don't really know where he lived. He might have been homeless. His clothes were not very clean, and he had a beard. But whenever Guru Maharaj would come, he would, walk down the street from wherever, and we'd be throwing flower petals. And the first person he would always greet was James the Belt Guy, who had the leather belts. And it just became part of his arrival ceremony. And he would just, I couldn't hear what he would say, but he would stand there and he would talk to him as if he was an old friend. And anyway, that just struck me, because sometimes as newer devotees, we are much more, judgmental when we see people, handling things that we wouldn't allow into our lives because of our principles. We can kind of judge them. But he just had so much love for him. And he later said that James the Belt Guy was the most constant presence at the Bhakti Center.
Thank you. Any other remembrances of sadhus in your life, being merciful to you or others, and being tolerant. I know a lot of sadhus are tolerant of me. Narottam? You look deep in remembrance. Please share.
And I was just thinking about my Shiksha Guru back in Mumbai. Adbhuta Hari Prabhu, he, back in 2014, 14 or 15, I got connected with him, and then for many years he took personal care of me, like, just like a very loving teacher. And I feel like a lot of my present situation is because of his mercy, like because of his training and his guidance and his love, and the way he tolerated me through the period of from back when I was highly immature and like just childish and like not really interested in spiritual life. And then he was very tolerant and gradually, very slowly nourished me. And so, yeah, I was just thinking about it.
So sweet. These are like addicting. I could listen to you guys talk about the sweetness of the sadhus all day. Maybe, Jose, do you got any thoughts? Nandaraj?
I was feeling a little tough after, Srila Prabhupada, glorifying Srila Prabhupada, and this appreciation that, that these sadhus that we do come in contact have gotten these, or have these great qualities because of their spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And it just shows us, like, this is the process. We follow the sadhu, we follow the saintly person, and we gain these great qualities. Similarly, we're following the qualities of these great sadhus, and we're also, so like I said, slowly but surely gaining these qualities. But it shows this process is a science, right? It's not just some speculation or maybe this or maybe that. No, there's a science. You hear from the sadhu, you hear from them nicely, and automatically, I think that's what we were talking about on the day before Srila Prabhupada's appearance day, right? That by hearing from the materialistic person in our heart, will become materialistic desires or qualities, and from hearing from the sadhu, automatically our the great qualities, the spiritual qualities, the transcendental qualities start to appear.
I know we have to end. I'm reading with my daughter, I'll Build You a Temple. And I remember when His Holiness Giriraj Swami was here a couple months ago and he gave initiations, he spoke on this verse. And he said that Prabhupada had spoke about it in Juhu. And then I actually read about it in the book, I'll Build You a Temple. It's just amazing. They bought land and they wanted to build a temple. It wasn't even like a place of ill repute, but the amount of enemies that wouldn't even allow them to do this, and all the betrayals, and you would think it'd be so simple. But just people at every turn were trying to stop them and spread lies about them and gossiping and so many hurtful things just to build a place of worship. And there were a couple devotees who said, let's just go. We don't need this place. We can get land somewhere else. And Prabhupada quoted this verse, and he said, we could go, but no, we must show karunika. We must, for compassion, we are going to establish this temple here to help everybody here. And so we must tolerate. We just must tolerate.
Wow. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhagavatam ki jai. Vanchakopa trubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Oh,